Linda, the HOA president, thought she was just enforcing a parking rule. She thought she was teaching me a lesson by towing my car while I was out of town. But she made one fatal mistake. She didn't call a licensed towing company. She called her cousin's scrapyard. When I came home and found my driveway empty, I didn't call the HOA board, I called the police. And 5 minutes ago, I watched them put Linda in the back of a squad car. She's not facing a fine. She's facing charges for grand theft auto. Here's how she lost her freedom over a parking spot. If you agree that entitled neighbors deserve to be taught a lesson, strike a blow for justice. Smash that subscribe button right now and join the team. You do not want to miss the next revenge. To understand why this ended in a felony arrest, you have to understand the car. It wasn't just a car. It was a 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. I had spent 5 years and over $80,000 restoring it. It was my pride and joy, and it was parked legally in my own driveway, covered with a high-end, custom-fitted tarp. Enter Linda. She had just been elected HOA president, and she was on a power trip. Linda hated car guys. She thought any car that wasn't a beige sedan was an eyesore. 2 days after she was elected, the letters started coming. First, it was a warning about unsightly vehicles. I ignored it. My car was covered. Then, a fine for commercial vehicle storage, which was ridiculous. It's a classic car, not a work truck. I went to the board meeting and proved her wrong. I showed the bylaws. I was compliant. I humiliated her in front of the whole neighborhood, and I could see the look in her eyes. It wasn't about rules anymore. It was personal. She told me in the parking lot after the meeting, "I don't care what the bylaws say, Alex. That heap of junk is leaving my neighborhood one way or another." I should have taken that threat seriously, but I had a business trip coming up, and I thought the cover would protect it. I was wrong. I left for Chicago on a Tuesday. By Wednesday night, my Ring doorbell camera sent me an alert. It was 11:30 p.m. I opened the app, and my blood ran cold. There was no official HOA towing company truck. Usually our neighborhood uses citywide towing. They have logos, uniforms, and they leave a ticket. But on my screen, I saw a rusted, unmarked flatbed truck backing into my driveway. And there was Linda, standing in her bathrobe, directing the driver. I tried to use the two-way talk feature on the camera. I screamed, "Hey, that's private property! Stop!" Linda just looked at the camera, smirked, and made a shushing motion with her finger. Then the driver hooked up my Mustang. He didn't put it on dollies. He dragged it. I watched in horror as my vintage transmission scraped against the asphalt. I called the local police immediately to report an unauthorized tow. But when the dispatcher checked the logs, she said something that changed everything. "Sir, we have no record of a repo or a private property tow at your address. If a car is towed legally, they have to notify us within 1 hour. Nobody has called." That's when I realized this wasn't a tow. Linda hadn't called the contracted company because they would have refused to tow a legal car. She had gone off the books. She had given my $100,000 car to a stranger in the middle of the night. Technically, she hadn't towed it. She had stolen it. I flew back the next morning. I didn't go to the impound lot because there was no impound lot to go to. I went straight home. I had already met with Officer Miller down the street. I told him to wait for my signal. I walked up to Linda's door. She answered before I could even knock, holding a clipboard. She looked so satisfied. "Oh, Alex," she said. "I hope you learned your lesson. The neighborhood looks so much better without that trash. You can pick it up eventually, but the fines are $500 a day." I played dumb. I asked, "Linda, where is the car? Which lot is it in? I need to get it now." She laughed. "It's at a secure facility my cousin runs, a yard a few counties over. Maybe if you pay the $2,000 towing fee in cash, I'll tell you where it is." That was the confession I needed. She admitted she used a personal contact, not the HOA vendor. She admitted she was holding the location hostage for cash. I smiled at her and said, "Actually, Linda, I don't need to pay you, but you're going to pay." I waved my hand. 2 police cruisers turned their sirens on and pulled into the cul-de-sac. Linda's face went pale. She dropped her clipboard. She stammered, You called the cops on me for doing my job?" Officer Miller stepped out. He didn't ask her about bylaws. He asked her one question. "Ma'am, do you have a signed work order for the removal of this vehicle and a receipt of notification to the police department?" Linda tried to pull the "I am the president" card. She screamed that she had the authority, but Officer Miller explained the law very clearly. "Ma'am, tow